everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. I know it's been a little while, but we're back and we got my guy Rob Veno here to join us and help us cap this card. I do always start the show by being transparent. Um, Yesterday I went 2-1 overall, so college basketball was good. Long Beach State plus 14 was a winner. NBA I went 1-1, so need to pick it up in NBA. And college basketball keeps rolling along. I mean, I think I've won 11 of my last 14. So we'll try to keep that going. Vino, how are you doing today? How's everything been with you?
We're good, Skee. That's a heck of a run, 11-3 in college hoop. that's a good run. Um, oh, here comes that printer. Hold on, you're gonna have to hear some extra noise with me. Yesterday was it's nice when you can get a 1-2 split. Yesterday in the NBA, I had one good, two bad. The heavy play was on the Hawks game over against Toronto, which turned out really well. They got the 241, then a couple of small plays did not get there, but we still were able to earn a split on a 1 and 2 day, so that's always good news.
Yeah, always. I mean, if you could do it every day, what I'm thinking about here, Rob. We might have some extra time. I might throw a college game at you, if that's all
All
right.
right,
All
that's
right,
a good deal. We'll do
all right, cool. Because I looked in the chat. Tomorrow says, "Hope y'all got some looks because this slate is cheeks."
it.
It's not the
You're not
best
lying.
slate. I don't. I can't disagree. All right, first game up, we'll go Blazers and Hornets. This one opened up Hornets minus 4.5, and it now looks like 5.5. Total open 222, and it's down as low as I think I see even a 219.5 at one of those shops. Uh, Injury report. A lot of people on here. Let me just refresh even because I think I saw something pop up on my phone a second ago. So Simons, he's probable. Tamani is probable. Klingon, probable. Murray, questionable. Um, Aiton, Time Lord, and Matisse Thybulle look like they're all out. For the Hornets, you have Seth Curry, game time, actually probable. Cody Martin also probable. LaMelo is the true questionable, along with Miles Bridges. So it's a lot of, who knows who will be available. Um, I can understand why the total's dropping. I feel like we always talk about if LaMelo misses, that slows down the pace and just hurts the offense in general. So yeah, if he's out, I mean, I do agree with the market pushing it down. But if he's rolled in, I might look the other way. How are you feeling about it, Vino?
I could say the same thing because for Portland, it's actually a back-to-back situation. So with LaMelo and pace, you would want to play. I would even look towards Charlotte team total over maybe going after Portland. I know Chauncey was really high on Portland's defense last night, but Orlando's not necessarily a scoring juggernaut lately. So I don't know how much to take from that. It was a big win for the Blazers for sure. Um, but in a back-to-back situation, if LaMelo's out there, you watch them on I think it was the Monday afternoon game, right when they played Dallas. You and I haven't been on together for so long, I forget. But Monday afternoon, that pace was so rapid. Just nobody could really make shots in that game. But you get so many opportunities. I always go to that potential points for myself when I'm handicapping. A lot of points available in that game. And the way Portland's playing, you could almost see the same exact thing taking place. I would think that with LaMelo, Charlotte's in a good spot to get their team total over and the game total over as well. But again, we'll have to sit on that injury report and wait and see exactly what his firm status is going to be. I don't know, Skee. I know we talk about this a lot, and the last 4 years, it seems to always come into play. But the injury report does seem to get more and more frustrating by the day. Who's in, who's out, and the time that it's released is just crazy.
Yeah, that injury report, man. I'm not a fan of it, like everybody else, but it just feels like it just keeps getting worse. Um, People like, how do you have three injury reports throughout the day, and you still get people, multiple games wrote out 30 minutes before a game? I just You're doing a disservice. to the people who are watching and betting or going to the games or whatever the case. Everybody. All right, enough of that. We'll move over to Cavs and Sixers. Opened up Cavs minus 9.5. Looks like 10.5 currently. Total hasn't really moved. It still looks like 228.5. As far as injuries, you do have Drummond, Embiid, Lowry, Martin, both Martin, out. For the Cavs, no Mobley, no Coro, no Travers, and then you have Levert, a game time decision here tonight. For some reason, there we go. So we have the Sixers, I believe, with the rest advantage. Both teams are on the first of a back-to-back here. But it is a chance for the Sixers. I mean, they're a double-digit underdog again, pretty much, but they lost by double digits last game. Can they get revenge? I'm gonna pass this one to you. I'm not really sure what to do with this game. Maybe the over, but I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I looked at it from that direction, Skee. I mean, Cleveland comes off that loss to Houston, so I don't really want to be against them. This is a team that they can take advantage of. Obviously, talk about it at length here because Embiid and Drummond seem to be always out, but the Sixers' defense at the rim is horrendous, and even without Evan Mobley on the other side, they should still have an advantage in the paint in this one. For the Sixers, it always comes down to, are they going to make shots or not? It seems to me that more often than not, they don't. So I hate to be on their side too, although the odds maker keeps on giving them more and more points, which makes it increasingly difficult to bet against them. I thought the Cleveland team total was a little light here. I think I saw 119.5 to ask them to get to 120 against this team. And I know Philadelphia doesn't necessarily go quick, but they're certainly quicker when you don't have Embiid and Drummond out on the floor. The array of players that they throw on the floor are mostly guys who can get up and down. Cleveland, we know, pace-wise, wants to get up and down. They're like number one in every, or at least they're in the top 5 in every offensive category that you can find. So I could see them making shots here, scoring here. I think they've gone 120 plus in 3 of their last 5. That's nothing new for the Cavs. So that's probably the way I would look. I would probably isolate and just take Cavs team total up and over. What I think, I'll check one more time, but I believe it was 119.5.
Yeah. Let me check that for you. Team total. I can get that right now. It is still 119.5.
Yeah. I think that's probably the way to go.
A couple things that are standing out to me here while I'm looking at this game. Sixers, they're not really they're 26th in pace last 5 games. They're the worst defensive rated team. They're also bottom 10 offensive rated team. So you look at it, they haven't covered any of those 5 games, and 4 out of the 5 have gone over. And Sixers in the last 5 games, they've been a double-digit dog 4 times. They haven't covered any time. So I kind of feel like it is the spot where you just take Cleveland. Like when they win, it's been by a big margin. I think Cleveland is the play the more I think about it. I also think the over could be a play. I mean, you talked about, I'm looking at the numbers here. They have been playing slow, but with who's available tonight, I do see them playing a little bit faster and also, just less rim protection for Philadelphia. So Cavs are over, and that's, you put them together, that's what Veno likes. Cavs team total. Next game up.
The only thing I'd say real quick, Skee, that would, it would be a concern of mine, even though I like to play, is that Cleveland has that revenge spot with Houston tomorrow back home. Do they rest guys in the fourth quarter if the lead gets out of control? I'm sure they're going to look for the win here. You don't want to walk into Philly and lose a game, even though their lead in the East is so big they can afford it. I don't think that's the way they think as a team. So even though I still like the game to get over 120 for a lot of the reasons I mentioned, for a ton of the backup you supported it with when you analyzed, I think that they do get over. But if you had a concern, it would be because they're going to play Houston tomorrow night at home.
Yeah, that's a good point right there, Veno. Got to think about this one a little bit more. Next game up, we have Pelicans and Grizzlies. This opened up Grizzlies minus 11, still sitting right there. Total open 240, and it looks like 244. As far as injuries, Ja is questionable. I believe it said with an illness. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw he was not at shoot around this morning. Aldama is game time. Same other usual suspects that are out for the Grizzlies. The four guys are out. For the Pelicans, Ingram, Herb Jones, and Zion will miss this game. This is the first of a back to back for both of these teams as well. You do have the Pelicans with pretty big, pretty big rest advantage. They haven't played since the 20th, so about 3 days rest for them. Coming off of that overtime game, I feel like the Pelicans have been playing a lot better, probably because they've been healthier. Looking at it, last 5 games, Veno, they've covered 4 out of 5, and so have the Grizzlies. I'll tell you this. This is what's even more interesting to me for this game. Ja looks like, he's downgraded. He misses shoot around. The line doesn't even go down. The total doesn't even go down. I mean, it's gone up from the opener. Do you agree that Memphis is just that strong with the market, or how are you seeing this?
Well, I've been watching those numbers real close for the last 4 hours, Ski. And when Ja originally got announced with the illness and questionable, that was, I don't know, it's about 2 o'clock, almost 2 o'clock my time. It was probably about 10 o'clock a.m. this morning, my time. And the total did go down. It had gone up in the overnights, rightfully so. Came down a little bit, went back up, came down a half, went back up, came down a half, and now it's back up almost a full from 243 and a half to 244. Now, so something tells me that Ja may not have been at shoot around, but he's probably going to go, or at least people think he's going to go. If that's the case, this total might as well be 254 because I don't think 244 is going to hold these two. But New Orleans, for what it's worth, their last 6 games, their game totals have all hit at least 232. New Orleans is playing these high-flying games. CJ all of a sudden shoots the ball really well again. Everything's going well offensively for New Orleans. They just don't play a lick of defense, which is great for Memphis, which, again, when you're talking about opportunities and potential points, there's going to be so many available points on the floor here. I would love to know that Ja Morant is in this game because I don't think even if it went up to 245, it would deter me from playing over. But what I also think is that New Orleans, the way they've been playing offense, is probably in a real good spot here to get over their team total. Their team total is, as I look right now, 116 and a half. And that's not a big number for them lately. And Memphis doesn't play a ton of defense. Not that I shouldn't say they're not a good defensive team, but the pace that they play at allows the other side to score, or at least a bunch of opportunities to score. So I think play 1A here for me right now would be New Orleans, team total over, and 1B would be full game over, and B would really depend on Ja. If he's in the game, I don't see 250 getting in the way of this one.
Grizzlies haven't really been giving up that number, but Pelicans have been hitting it every game. They've hit it 6 straight. So something's got to give in this one. I do agree that the pace will be there in this game. I think that's a solid bet there. That's the NBA. I mean, we only had 3 games, so and we still have a little bit of time. So um, there was a college game. Just let me chat if y'all maybe have a game y'all want to look at. We'll see. Or Vino, would you prefer to talk football or college basketball, or you don't care?
Yeah, it doesn't matter to me, Ski. I mean, for what it's worth, for your viewers here, I'll just throw it out there today. The one play that I did release, the number is kind of getting away from us now, but it's still probably a good number. I bet St. Joe's and Dayton over 144. It's up to 145. A lot of reasons there. For those who follow college basketball, you know the head coach of Dayton, Anthony Grant, is very much a methodical pace, slow pace defensive guy. But the defense has totally eroded for Dayton this year. They're just not a good defensive team. And they've taken it up by scoring more this year. St. Joe's matches up real well against them offensively versus their defense and vice versa. I just thought the number was too low at 144. So that is a play that I do have release to clients for anybody who's interested in little college hoop tonight.
I appreciate you sharing that. And there was a game I want to talk about. It is a game I did play this game from a total perspective, but I want to talk about the side for real. I think the side is really interesting just because you have Purdue off that loss. Um, Michigan, they've been escaping death. Like they're off two overtime games back to back. Um, I feel like Purdue's defense, like on the inside, is not going to be good enough to guard Michigan in this game, and I think Michigan can shoot just as well as Purdue. Um, and I don't think Purdue's defense is good enough to take advantage of how like Michigan can sometimes turn the ball over. I'm thinking Michigan can hang in this game, if not win outright. I know it's something like right. Purdue doesn't lose back to back home games or something like that. But I think this is one they can lose. What do you think, Vino?
Yeah, they don't lose back-to-back home games when they have Zach Edey. They don't have Zach Edey anymore. And to your point, that's where Michigan holds the advantage, right? I mean, Danny Wolf, the transfer to Michigan, gives them a pair of 7-footers. That's Michigan's strength, is inside, like you said, on the glass. I think they and for Purdue, um, they've actually just shot incredibly well in some of their wins. I think their defensive numbers, Ski, to be honest, I think they're a little bit skewed. When you just give it an overview, you see Purdue allowing in most of their games a low number of points since they've gotten into Big Ten play. But I don't think they're contested in those games inside the way Michigan is. And for what it's worth, Michigan gets beat 84-81 against Minnesota, for anybody who saw, on a absolute Hail Mary 3-point chuck in overtime that went in. Dawson Garcia hit that one. And then, they escaped Northwestern. It's a tough league, night in and night out. But I think if you're just discussing fundamental matchups, I'm in full agreement with you that Michigan should be able to do damage inside, and Purdue's defense probably is a little overvalued at this point. And can these guys shoot from the perimeter the way they've been shooting? I just don't know that that's something that happens every single night. They could win. You're asking them to win by 5. I think it's probably a game where Michigan could win as well. So if I think the dog has a chance, I'm usually the kind of guy who would go ahead and grab those points. So 4 to me looks like a little much. Total has gone up a little bit here in this game. I don't know. It might be a shade too high at this point. I'm not involved, so I'm just talking it out with you. But I think if I had my preference, I would be on the Michigan side plus points.
Well, I'll ask you this. Yeah, I mean, it kind of seems maybe this way to me, but is it a little bit correlated here? If you like Michigan, you like more of an over kind of faster game. If you like Purdue, if you think they control the game, it's going to be more of a slower under type game. You agree with that?
Yeah, well, yeah, my only problem with that is even if it's a slower game, I think Michigan can score. Because even in a slower game, they're going to score inside. And that's probably why. And Danny Wolf, for those who don't watch it but are trying to get involved with college hoop at this point in time, maybe you're just picking it up because of football. Wolf is the kind of guy that'll shoot a 3 on one trip down and dunk the basketball inside on the other. It's just so versatile inside and out. So they really have a second chance points should be their way. I'm probably with you, Skee. I guess just the sight of that number 153 kind of scares me a little bit. But there's ways to score points even in a slower game for Michigan.
Yeah, I like Vlad too. That's the other footer that they have. He's pretty damn good. Yeah, I think we did a solid job on this one. I still honestly I probably need more time to look at more college. So somebody in the chat did ask. I know I am going to talk about it, a little bit more with 5-star, but I'll ask you about this. How about this, Vino? Because it is your neck of the woods over there. I mean, they beat you guys one time this season, right? But I think either Hurts got injured that game, or something happened, or he wasn't playing, something like that. Jaden Daniels has been pretty impressive. Um, and he's shown up in big spots. This is a very very big spot, especially for a rookie. And the Eagles have a really good team. Um, do you think that he can keep up with the Eagles in this one, or do you think this one can get out of hand?
I think I have to get my Wager Talk colleagues to stop lumping me in as an Eagles guy. I live here. I do live here, but the assumption that I'm an Eagles guy is, and you know, I'm a Broncos fan at heart. So, but to your point, Skee, I've been back and forth with this game all week long, and I don't really want to ramble because I know you got 5-star coming up next. Otherwise, I would give you a 3 or 4 minute dissertation on this game. I think in the end, for me, where I'm going to land on this one is the Commanders team total over 20.5. I just can't see how they're held to less than 21 points in this game, even in a losing effort. I think they can find their way to 23. So you hear an awful lot. Eagles are going to slow the game down. Eagles are going to run. They're going to keep the ball away from Jaden Daniels. But it's kind of a tiring and old adage, right, Skee? You run the football, you grind the clock, the score stays low. Well, the Eagles run the football. This isn't Woody Hayes and Bo Schembechler, 2 yards, cloud of dust, 3 yards. This is, 3 yards, 6 yards, 48-yard touchdown. They got the 50 against the Rams last week on just big runs. So just running the football doesn't mean it's an under. And that you're going to keep the ball away from the other team. Didn't happen last week. Might not happen this week. I happen to prefer the Washington side as far as scoring points is concerned. I don't know if they can stop the Eagles, but I don't know if you're in agreement with me. I just thought 20.5 is too low of a total for Washington. I think they can get beyond that.
Well, I'll say I do really trust Jaden Daniels kind of versus anybody right now. Like even if they're trailing, they're going to continue to throw and et cetera, et cetera. I kind of agree. But in the same, I could see this be a game where he makes a lot of mistakes. I mean, it is a really good defense the Eagles have. He's still just a rookie, as good as he's been playing. So I don't know, Veno. I think the more I think about it, the Eagles, I mean, Saquon has been so good. I think they can really run all over Washington. I really do. And I don't think Hurts has to do too much in this game. I think that the Eagles are to play. I really want to find reasons to back them. I think they win this game by double digits. So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. If Eagles win and your team total hits, that's over 47.5. I can't say I can talk anybody off. I think both teams can honestly trade some punches there a little bit. Any last thoughts on this?
Well, to your point, when you're looking for reasons to back the Eagles, Washington could not stop Jahmyr Gibbs last week. I mean, the Lions ran all over that team, and you can just see that happening again. Which again, this is where I started this week, just thinking that over 47.5 was going to be easy. The weather's good here. The only thing I was worried about is Jalen. Remember at the end of the last game, Jalen's leg injury was so bad that they really weren't even going to do the brotherly shove on the 1 yard line because of his leg. They wound up doing it anyway. But it seems like he's good enough to go. And the other 2 injuries, Skee, that I was waiting on, Quinyon Mitchell went out with a concussion in that game. He's going to play corner. And Isaiah Rodgers, the other D-back, is going to play. So what you're missing is Nakobe Dean. So that's where I started. My first opinion was if everybody's healthy, this game has to go over. It was 36-33 last time with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Like you said, Jalen got hurt. It was around Christmas time, and Kenny Pickett had to play. So I can see either of those. I'm a fan of overs, and in some capacity, I'm going to be on overs in that game.
All right, fair enough. I mean, might as well talk about the Ravens versus the. Oh, my bad. We don't got no more Ravens talking about. Everybody thought the Ravens good. Oh man, I don't gotta go hard on Veno though. Veno's not one of those and Lamar faithfuls. So I'll just ask you real quick: Bills and Chiefs. Um, it did open as a pick 'em. Now it looks like one and a half or two, depending where you shop. I was on Buffalo in that last game, and I do. Josh Allen has gained a lot of my respect. Kansas City, it's been a lot of talk about the referees helping them out. Do you think anything changes in this game from that regard? Do you think uh do you think Buffalo can hang with Kansas City?
Oh, I think they can hang with Kansas City. The referees is a better question. What does the NFL want to do about this? Do they want to tell these refs ahead of time, we're getting too much flack? Make sure, don't just give Patrick Mahomes 15 for, and to the referee's credit, in fast motion, it did look like a hit to the head. On replay, you could see it clearly wasn't. And the fact that they can't review those is kind of crazy. I think a couple of things here, Skee. I was on Kansas City last week, and I got the best of the number. The safety didn't hurt me at the end, so I got a win out of it. But my feeling was that with Hollywood Brown, Marquise Brown, and Xavier Worthy, and DeAndre Hopkins, and Juju Smith-Schuster, I thought that there was too many other weapons for teams to bracket or do what they do to Travis Kelce anymore. And it came into play because Houston got lit up by Travis Kelce. Now, this week, Buffalo's probably going to focus on Travis Kelce, and I could see some deep balls getting beyond Buffalo here with the speed that KC has. What bothers me about Kansas City is that offensive line does not protect whatsoever. I mean, Patrick Mahomes was under heat. Houston's got a good pass rush, but they were in trouble. Buffalo's so stout on the defensive side. This is a really good game. I almost feel like I want to play Josh Allen in Buffalo here because their offensive line is the better of the two units. I usually look to the trench play, and Buffalo's offensive line to me just looks to be a lot better than what KC's is. And for what it's worth, 2 years in a row now, the Buffalo Bills have only had one game missed by an offensive lineman. That type of continuity is crazy to be able to survive injury like that. They run the ball with Cook. It's a good football team. I think if ever there was a time for them to win, it would be now. But stepping in front of that Kansas City freight train, knowing that a flag could come any minute, it's kind of scary. I think Buffalo's got a real chance.
All right, good stuff on that. Buffalo, I mean, he's lost 3 times? Man, if you lose 4 times in a row to the same person, God, I know Chiefs team is really talented, but I've gained so much respect for Josh Allen this year after doubting him in the offseason and thinking the Bills weren't going to do anything, and he just, he proved me wrong. So, got to give him credit. I do think he'll, want to come in and play a really good game and give everything he can to help his team win. I think I'd prefer just if I was liking the Bills, I'd prefer to just bet on Josh Allen. I mean, that's pretty much what you're betting on anyway. Find some of his props and see if you can get paid that way. All right, Vino, it's about that time where we move it on over to best bets. And always like to ask if there's anything that you would like to promote. And then if you do have a best bet, feel free. I noticed at least the NBA slate was terrible. But if you don't have a best bet, it's okay too.
I'll say this real quick, just wagertalk.com. Skee puts the link in the description. If you want to find my work, you can go right over there. If you're interested in selection packages, obviously a big college basketball slate tomorrow and Sunday, along with the championship games. My stuff will all be posted up there, so you can find it by following that link. If you didn't get enough of me and Skee together, you can find us together later on a different show with Kyle Kearns hosting. Shout out to Kyle. And as for best bet, real quick here, I'll just leave you with the college basketball play I gave the audience, Skee. That's a game that I have played. It's a client release, St. Joe's, Dayton. My number was 144. At this point in time, you're going to have to get up and over 145. I still think it's worth a shot here. I think they can get to 146. So that'll be my best bet. St. Joe's, Dayton, up and over the total.
Good stuff from Vino. Yeah, like you said, you can check us out at wagertalk.com. And I do want to shout out for anybody who does want to get involved. I think I have a promo code, Sport $50 if you want to get in for 30 days NBA or college basketball. You get $50 off. So yeah, that's what we got going over at Wager Talk. For my best bet for the show, um, how do I want to do this? I will go with really like there's nothing that I can get involved with in the NBA currently. Maybe you can put some more work in and do that. But I really like what we're talking about with that college basketball game. So I'm gonna open up my accounts. Or actually, I see the odds right here. I can get in right over there at Westgate +4 for Michigan. I think they can win this game outright. Have a lot of advantages. I know they're off or two back-to-back overtime games, but they've had 4 days of rest. They're young, they're good, and the coach wasn't too happy with the way that they started that last game. So I think that they come out, start strong, and really don't look back. So I'll go with Michigan +4 as my best bet for this show. Veno, I appreciate you taking the time to come cap the games with me. We'll see if we can do this a little bit more next week if you have some time. Uh, Chat. Always appreciate all of you guys. A lot of good cappers, good people. Appreciate you guys supporting the show. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button for us, helps us out, and subscribe if you want to know when we're going live again. If you want to hear a little bit more about football, I'll be on in about 5 minutes with my guy 5 Star. We'll talk those two conference championship games and see how we can get paid over there. So catch you guys later. Peace.